Have you ever had a colleague who, if you stand in their way, it feels like getting hit by a truck? Well, that's type 4 in my 9 types of difficult people, the driving force. And the driving force has this kind of unstoppable energy about them, full of momentum, full of drive, and sometimes full of trouble too. And they're often the kind of person who's appointed to save the day, and they believe that about themselves too. But the risk is that they bite off more than they can chew. They'll overload themselves to the point where they crash and burn and derail the wider priorities as a result. And of course, this creates friction and can alienate influential stakeholders. It's at that point when it feels like you've been really hit by the truck of the driving force. So driving forces ride this kind of peak performance wave right up until the point it hits a cliff. It's exciting because they're just taking on more and more stuff, they're feeling at their best, and it tips into overload really fast. It's really helpful if you can spot the point where they're about to hit that overload, they're about to take one bite too many. If you're working alongside a driving force, or they're your boss, they're your team leader, it's really important to make sure that you're actively looking after your boundaries. And that's because a driving force may expect you to match their pace on everything that they're juggling, which can overload you and simply become unsustainable. And the key to dealing with them is to be very direct, very specific, and very solution focused about what your limits are. You must offer a clear proposal for how you can still contribute effectively without having to burn yourself out. And this models the kind of directness and clarity and respect that they themselves value, whilst also protecting your own capacity. And if you're the leader of a driving force or an HR professional or someone responsible for developing that person, you need to be aware that they can often default to a kind of win-lose approach, especially when they're pushing really hard to achieve something that's on their to-do list. They'll try and get it done whatever the cost, whatever the impact of doing it and the fallout that it can cause. If you've got a driving force who's stuck in that win-lose approach, the best tactic is to be equally direct yourself. Insist that they go for mutual wins, that they break out of that win-lose approach. Stand your ground over this and demand that they really up their game about it. Make sure you're using that kind of let's just do it, let's get this done type language with them. With the right kind of influencing skills, the right kind of colleagues around them, a driving force can shift from bulldozer to bridge builder, to someone who can really get stuff done in concert with the people around them. So you can follow the link below or search for the hashtag 9 types of difficult people for more videos on how to turn even the toughest dynamics into great working relationships.